call to order the regular committee meeting of the Barnegat Township Committee for December 5th, 2011. Before I call this meeting to order, I just want to let everyone know this is one of the first meetings that will be video recorded. As you notice over to the side, there is a video recorder. Last meeting, we passed a resolution allowing this, with prior notification, so that if anybody has any issues with that, now's your chance. So the recordings are on. Just want to let everybody know that. And with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Provisions of Open Public Meetings Law.
Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Law, adequate public notice of this meeting has been given. By publication in the required newspapers of the date, time, and location of this meeting more than 48 hours in advance. By posting advance written notice on the official bulletin board in the municipal building. By filing advance written notice with the Township Clerk for the purpose of public inspection.
At this time, we ask everyone please turn all cell phones or pagers to either off or vibrate. Roll call of officials present.
Committeeman Billy? Committeeman Lasella?
Here.
Committeeman Moreno?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Cerulli?
Here.
Mayor Melchiondo?
Here. And also at this time, we'll have an invocation by Pastor Eric C. Hall, pastor of Barnegat New United Methodist Church. Thank you.
Mayor.
Good evening, Pastor.
Good evening. Let's join together in the invocation. As we gather together here to be about the business of the community of Barnegat, we give thanks for those who have dedicated their time and their talents to public service. We give thanks to the gifts that we've been given in our community life and in our family life. During this holiday season, we look for hope, we look for grace, and we look for opportunity to serve those who are in need and to build a better Barnegat. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Happy holidays.
At this time, please rise to salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Resolution 2011-586.
Resolution authorizing the Township Committee to retire into closed session for the purpose of discussing personnel, public safety, contractual, and litigation matters.
Dave? Not needed. We have a motion to table. Move. Second. Roll call.
Committeeman Lasella?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Cerulli?
Yes.
Mayor Melchiondo?
Yes. This time we'll have the mayor's report, which is a little brief this evening. Number one, public safety bond. On tonight's agenda is what I'll call a public safety bond ordinance for introduction. This is the first bond that the township has introduced in a number of years, with the exception of the Safe Routes to School sidewalk bond last year. Mr. Breeden will go over the details of this bond during his report, but I feel that Barnegat Township is overdue in ensuring the safety of both our first responders and our residents, and this bond will accomplish that. The Barnegat Police Department. As I mentioned at the last meeting, our Barnegat Police Department has received full national accreditation. The Township and the Police Department will have a presentation at the next meeting. And the Green Thumb Daycare and Nursery. On this past Saturday, my wife and I attended a ribbon cutting for the new Green Thumb Daycare and Nursery on Route 9. That's the one directly across from the new Myers Liquor Store. The all-new facility offers a multitude of services for working parents, along with a greenhouse where they'll be growing all kinds of plants. Well, maybe not all kinds, but most kinds of plants. They will also be opening a new outdoor garden decor and nursery next door. And that is basically it for me. We'll move on to the committee reports, starting with Committeeman LaSalle.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things today. First, the angel trees for the gifts are being held at, you could go and pick up a card to see who we want to purchase a gift for one of the children at Marchioni's, Sweet Jenny's, Biagio's, and the residents at Heritage Point have one at their own clubhouse there. And they'd like everything hopefully returned by the 17th, any gifts that are donated there. Also on December 12th, next Monday, they're having a lighting at Gazebo Park downtown, and Santa's going to be coming, from what I understand, on a fire engine, giving out candy canes, who's ever there. And I believe one of the classes from the school are scheduled to be there, some of the kids from that class. So that's what's going on there. And getting back to our tax issues, I want to read a letter that we received from Barbara Rainey. Please be advised that this letter serves to confirm our informal meeting, which is being held on Tuesday, December 13th at 10:30 a.m. in room 223 of Ocean County Tax Office in Toms River. The purpose of this meeting will be to discuss the township's plan for a corrective action that may be needed to address a limited number of areas within the community in which assessed values are shown to be inconsistent. In addition, a general discussion will cover the assessment process in New Jersey and the role of the municipal tax assessor. It is anticipated that this will be a productive meeting and offer a positive outcome, which will benefit the taxpayers of Barnegat Township by offering possible solutions within the framework of the rules and regulations that govern the tax assessment process. I look forward to meeting with you, Mr. Breeden, and Mr. Lasella. Very truly yours, Barbara Rainey, Assistant Tax Administrator. So we did get an appointment with the county. This confirms it, and we will give you the results after that meeting, and hopefully, as she stated, they will be positive results. And now for our sports report. The San Diego Chargers will be playing the Jaguars tonight. Jerry has some condolences coming as my Green Bay Packers beat his Giants. Thank you.
Close game.
I don't have,
We'll beat them next time. 6 weeks from now, we'll beat them next time.
Thank you, Marty. Committeeman Morano.
Thank you. Just a couple of few things. I just want to go over Saturday night. We had installation dinner for the first aid squad, for the new members, new presidents. And I just want to thank each and every one of those volunteers. You don't realize the hours they put in. And I think maybe Deputy Mayor Cerulli may have something on that also. But it's amazing how you see 1,600 hours of service and 8,000. It just blows your mind to know these people are out there to help us. And they do need to have some accreditation, knowing that everybody cares about it. It's amazing. And they're young kids that are there. We have one volunteer, I don't know, he put in 1,600 hours. He's going to be a doctor. He's almost a medical doctor. He's still in college, but yet he's on our first aid on that ambulance coming to your house. They're amazing, these people. They really are. They need a real loud applause. Believe me, they do. And second, Sunday, we had the American Legion had a service for Pearl Harbor. On Sunday morning, we had a nice day, beautiful day. We threw the wreath and people were there. Wednesday will be the VFW at the dock of Pearl Harbor Day with the kids from the high school. Let's hope it doesn't rain so we can all get out there and support them, because that's another great activity that everybody comes and it's good for the community. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Lenny. Deputy Mayor Cerulli.
Yes, I also attended the First Aid Squad installation dinner. Very nice occasion, and I agree with Ms. Morano. I will have the figures. The amount of hours are incredible what these people put in. No words to say how important the things that they do. The other thing also, we also attended the ceremony for Pearl Harbor on Sunday. We had a beautiful day, considering the other days where it's like frigid. And the other thing will be discussed by our administrator, Mr. Breeding, as he introduces the bond ordinance for all the safety items. That's it.
Thank you, Al. Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No reports tonight, so we can go straight to the agenda. Everything that we need to talk about regarding the agenda can be found on page 2 of the agenda. And I'd like to go to the 2 ordinances that are up for second reading and public hearing tonight. Explain them first, and then backtrack to the bond ordinance that's up for first reading. On page 2 of the agenda, ordinance 2011-19, second reading and public hearing, ordinance providing for a special emergency appropriation in the amount of $190,000 for the engagement of special consultants for the preparation of the master plan. Over on the east wall, we have several large posters which I guess illustrate the amount of work and time needed in order to accomplish and complete both the master plan and town center designation. I think that's important to keep in mind, that the township pursued two things at the same time, and both were needed. We needed to update our master plan. Master plan for the township of Barnegat was not updated for approximately 25 years. State recommends that you update your master plan every 7 to 10 years. At the same time, township was pursuing town center designation. The reason why we want this designation is that it will greatly enhance our possibility of attracting commercial ratables to town. It provides more area that commercial ratables can use for their business structure. Township started the process in July of 2005 with regards to master plan update and town center designation. This coming Wednesday, we are going before the State Planning Commission to see if they approve our town center designation. So it took a solid 6 years for the township to realize the work that needed to be accomplished in order to receive that designation and status. In addition, during the master plan process, the master plan subcommittee of the planning board met over 100 times during the past 5 or 6 years. So the point we're trying to drive home here with the verbal description along with the visual posters is that this has been a very time-consuming process. Started back in 2005. Hopefully we'll realize a milestone on Wednesday. But even after we get the designation, we have post-designation work that we need to accomplish and complete in order to maintain the designation. Working in a community to the north of Barnegat that already has the town center designation. It attracted commercial development, but yet at the same time, you have to work very aggressively in order to maintain that designation. So updating a master plan that was 25+ years old, in addition to receiving town center designation, took the township in excess of 6 years. But most communities say if you can do it within 10, you're lucky. We did it within 6. So we hopefully will reach that milestone this coming Wednesday, and we'll be able to secure the designation sometime in the first quarter of 2012.
Dave, just one thing I'd like to add there, that over the past 6 years, Mr. Breeden, 5 of those, Mr. Hess, myself, and planning board members have outlived 3 changes in Trenton to the people that we had to deal with. Every time we turned around, every couple of years, they changed the people in Trenton. They had to start over again. They had to catch up with what we've been working on. So I personally think that Mr. Hess and his organization has done an excellent job. Like I say, if we can get this done in 6 years, we're 4 years ahead of the game. Thank you.
One of the charts indicate or outline 32 different tasks that the township needed to do. And one task can take weeks and months to accomplish. They're not tasks that take hours. Accomplishments with regards to master plan and town center designation are measured in months and years, not days and weeks. Ordinance 2011-20, second reading and public hearing. Ordinance providing for various capital improvement projects and other related expenses, appropriating the amount of $226,913 for said improvements. This is called a fully funded capital ordinance. Will not increase the overall debt of the township. The township received a DOT grant in the amount of $250,000 for paving of Bowline. The contract to Earl, which was awarded this past spring, came in at roughly $226,000. By passing this ordinance tonight, you established the funding mechanism or the accounting treatment necessary to complete this grant and to close it out. Again, the township received a grant of $250,000. This is a fully funded ordinance. And finally, towards the top of page 2, ordinance 2011-21, first reading. Ordinance providing for various general improvements and other related expenses, appropriating $2,225,000 and providing for the issuance of $2,113,750 in bonds or notes to finance the same. This is a general capital improvement ordinance. This ordinance, unlike previous ordinances, the fully funded or bond amendments, this ordinance will increase the overall debt of the township by roughly $2.1 million. Before I go into what this ordinance will be funding, let's take a little history regarding the amount of debt that the township has incurred in the past several years. The last time that the township incurred debt that directly benefited township operations was in December of 2006. In 2007, the township did not bond anything. In 2008, the township did not incur any debt. In 2009, the township did not go out to bond. In 2010, the township did a bond for $500,000, and that was for the Safe Routes to School program. Though it enhanced the community, it did not directly benefit township operations. As a result of that work, the school board was able to reduce their transportation budget. In 2011, to date, the township has not gone out and bonded for any improvements. So since 2007, the township has been able to reduce its general capital debt by $3,983,000. Add back to that the $500,000 for the sidewalks, and at the end of the day, since 2007, we've been able to reduce our debt by roughly $3.5 million. If you add to that the amount of debt that we've reduced the utility budget by, we have reduced our debt by over $5.5 million. So contrary to certain statements, this township has a solid capital debt ratio. We've been reducing our debt steadily since 2007. Township did an analysis of communities in the state of New Jersey that had a population between 17,000 and 21,000. There's 23 towns in that range. Barnegat is in that range. The average debt for those towns in 2009 was almost $20 million. Barnegat had a debt of $11.8 million, roughly 41% less than comparable towns in the state of New Jersey with comparable populations. If you take a look at surrounding communities, by far, Barnegat has the least amount of debt. Again, this bond ordinance tonight represents the first bond ordinance absent the Safe Routes to School, $500,000 that the township went out to bond for. This will cover 6 or 7 items. First off, fire apparatus, $900,000. This is for the acquisition of an aerial device for the Barnegat Township Volunteer Fire Company. Their current device or apparatus is well in excess of 20 years old. It cannot be certified. When a piece of fire apparatus cannot be certified, it represents 2 hazards. Number 1, an operational hazard, and number 2, a significant and considerable insurance exposure or liability. Picture on the east wall probably gives you the best illustration of the need for a ladder truck or aerial device in Barnegat. That picture was taken at the structural fire in the Lexington neighborhood this summer. The aerial truck there is from Stafford. Stafford has an aerial truck and Lacey has an aerial truck. A lot of people think that you have to have tall buildings, 3, 4, 5 stories in order to use or need an aerial truck. That picture clearly demonstrates that indeed a structure that's only 2 stories, an aerial truck is required and needed. As Township Committee said tonight, we have many volunteers serving both our EMS and fire. Township Committee has an ethical, moral, and legal obligation to provide the tools and resources to those volunteers so they can safely provide services to the community. Again, the aerial device that Barnegat Fire has is in excess of 20 years old, cannot be certified, therefore it cannot be used properly in service. Item B, firefighter protective gear and safety equipment, $300,000. In the firefighting industry or practice, a lot of items need to be certified, everything from trucks to hoses to air tanks to turnout gear. Once those items reach the end of their useful life, they can no longer be certified, therefore cannot be used in firefighting operations. Barnegat Fire Company has in excess of 35 sets of turnout gear and air tanks that need to be replaced in 2012 because they have reached the end of their useful life. In addition to the turnout gear and air packs, this also includes communication equipment and various tools used in rescue operations. Both fire companies are starting to encounter incidents and accidents in which newer model cars, the jaws of life, are not operating or cutting it. Therefore, new rescue equipment must be acquired. Item C, road improvement work, $400,000. This includes road improvement and various drainage system work throughout the township. Item D, public safety vehicles, $300,000. This is police vehicles, four-wheel drives. Right now, the police department has 29 vehicles. Average mileage on those vehicles is roughly 113,000. 16 of those cars are assigned to patrol, and they also have 113,000 on average. Any given year, patrol vehicles put between 35 and 40,000 miles on it. Township has not acquired any police vehicles except for one, a replacement of an accident in 2009, 2010, 2011. So in 3 years, we bought one vehicle, and that was to replace a vehicle damaged or totaled in an accident. Item F, public works vehicles, $200,000. This is the acquisition of pickup trucks, state body trucks, and mini dump trucks. Township, the past couple of years with the snowstorms, have struggled. We've done a commendable job, but every day the amount of roads that we have to maintain and plow and take care of grow. Our backbone of the public works fleet is roughly 8 F-250 Ford pickup trucks. They're from 2004, so they're 7 years old. We're starting to experience more operational and maintenance problems with them, and we'd like to start a systematic replacement of those vehicles over the next several years. Any truck acquired by the township would have four-wheel drive capabilities and would have a snowplow package. Item G, rehabilitation of the municipal fleet, $75,000. This includes $25,000 allocated for a truck donated by the state to the Barnegat Volunteer Fire Company. It is a brush truck. It was donated by the state, but needs roughly $25,000 worth of work in order for it to be operational. In addition, the other funding would be used to extend the useful life by 5 years of heavy equipment or large items like front-end loaders, backhoes, and a couple of our large dump trucks that are very crucial in our snow clearing operation. And finally, item H, information technology equipment, $50,000. Last time the township did any significant upgrades to its infrastructure, information technology infrastructure, was in 2006. We are in desperate need of servers in order to maintain not only township municipal operations, but police operations. The amount of information that we have on our servers grows by leaps and bounds every year, and we need to upgrade it this year in order to meet the needs of the township operation. Again, Mayor, this bond ordinance is for roughly $2,113,750. This ordinance will increase the debt of the overall township. This is the first bond ordinance that the township has done that directly improves or impacts township operations since December of 2006. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Just like to announce that, again, this evening, this is the introduction of this bond ordinance, and that at our next meeting, we're going to have a workshop at 5 p.m. for not only other township business, but also to workshop this particular bond ordinance because it will be on the agenda for adoption that evening. So if anybody wants to come out at 5 p.m., voice some opinions, talk about it a little more, whatever they might have to say, we will workshop this bond ordinance at that time. Again, December 19th at 5 p.m. Thank you. Public portion. Do I have a motion to open to the public? Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We're open to the public for comment, concerns, criticisms, or questions. How about that? Took care of all that. Seeing none, just Pesci. Commissioner Pesci.
Frank Pesci, 11 Hemlock. Let me look into the camera.
That's great.
Okay. It's funny, we're talking about all this equipment. At your last meeting, I expressed, some concern for a state report. That had to do with giving tax rebates to developers. Okay. I have another one here. It's quite interesting. State of New Jersey Commission of Investigation. Alarming contracts. I was shocked with that. Fixed bids, conflict of interest, big dollars, and lack of transparency in the purchase of fire trucks in New Jersey. And if you read the whole report, you'll see why they have a problem, and I mean, we should entertain that problem, because some of these engines, and they mentioned this Pierce in there quite prominently, if in fact they have a patent on something and they convince your department and say, well, this is what we want, American and France, Belgium, the others can't bid on it. So I guess this is what, if the word fixed bid. But certainly we're going to have to look at that. Not being prepared tonight, but if I recall some monies, that one was a $4 million, I think, that we had, general obligation. Okay, then we just have an emergency note now for $350,000 that we're bidding for. My question is that all of a sudden now we're entertaining a lot of equipment, and it's saying it was 5 years, 6 years, 7 years ago. I think we went through this scenario when we had the bid, the auction, and we bought some vehicles. We bought some vehicles for the water and sewer. We bought a bucket. They needed an aerial bucket on the one. We bought another that had the winch on the back. So I don't think we're that far behind, and I kind of think that every year since that time, it's kind of difficult for me to comprehend that we wait till 1 year and then we're going to spend $2 million or $4 million on updating our fleet. And it should be, but not in 1 year. We should, if most of the equipment, it's not like a car where for bonding 5 years. You got to get 5 years out of it. Many of the vehicles with the tandems, the equipment that they have, the Department of Public Works will last certainly longer than that. We have a good P&M back there. It's certainly going to last longer than that. So I don't, see us, and I know Dave went to take that course, so we should be, you took a course not so long ago in reference to fleet operations, as I call maintenance of fleet operations. You don't remember? I think I have that stashed someplace. Okay.
Congratulations. Congratulations. You get a certificate for that?
I'll go quickly now. There's a couple of things in here, 594, and I think that John can help a little bit with that. I don't think it's daycare anymore. I guess it should be changed.
It is daycare, yes.
It is a daycare.
No, I thought that new part was no?
That's the building next door.
Oh, I thought this was it.
No,
Okay.
that's next door. That's where
Next
the...
door.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But I don't have a problem with that. I just thought it was the same building.
No.
The newer building.
This is the new building, the one that
This is
just
the brand new
Bill,
building.
you're right.
Right.
Okay.
The older
And the
building-
other one he's using as, okay.
Right, the older building, Frank, that was Adriana's boutique right now, that's what that is. That's the building that's going to be changed to the...
Right. The garden,
Nursery
yeah,
Day
right.
Center.
Okay. I thought this, because it was on here, we were talking about that one. The other is the monies that are being spent on, what the heck is it? Review, 598 and 597. When were these reviews done?
The high school, that was water and sewer, that was when they built the high school, so that money has been sitting in an escrow account for probably 7 years.
Okay. I was wondering, because that's not reason, 7 years?
Yeah,
Okay.
They finally asked for it back.
Oh, hey, I don't know, that's why I'm asking the question. 597?
597 was a review that was done probably 2 years ago.
Okay, and then there was another one with the zoning board, and that was done a couple of years ago too?
That's
And they wait this long for their money?
Quite often, a lot of people don't realize that they have money there left in an account. It might be $25, $100, or $1,000, and then eventually they realize it and they call for it. Until that time, we don't call them.
No, I'm glad that people that have money, they can hold, out that long before they get paid. I wish I could get a contractor to do that for me. I think that's the last.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Vince?
Vince Green, 89 Sandpiper. I guess you all know the planning board approved the plans for the development
Yes.
at West Bay. Our concerns in Heritage Bay are that there's going to be an entrance and an exit on Sandpiper, which is poorly planned. There's no traffic signs there. It says no parking on the streets. There's no striping. There's nothing like that. That's going to have to be done. But we're concerned about our pedestrians also, because they're going to be walking up Sandpiper, and they're going to have to cross this entrance to get to Gennardi's. A lot of them walk to Gennardi's, and I don't think they'll be going to those stores. Anyway, when I mentioned that at the planning board meeting, they said, well, the vehicles, they're only going to be going slow, so they won't hurt anybody too badly. I mean, that's a wisecrack,
I never heard anyone say
I heard that.
I mean,
I heard that.
I never heard
I heard it. All right? You questioning me?
Vince?
I made a statement, I didn't.
Well, he said
Well,
that.
that's right. I mean,
All right.
he was there and you were there, so.
Yeah, okay.
Let's leave it at that.
That was one statement one of the guys made. Well, you want her to get hurt too bad. But you know how drivers are in New Jersey. They like to get in and out real fast. Now, we're gonna have people making left-hand turns into development. We're gonna have our residents, if they go, they're making left-hand turns into our development in the same place. We're gonna have people going straight. We're gonna have people going straight the other ways, north and south. It's gonna be a disaster. We're gonna have a lot of accidents there. Now, I asked if the police did a survey of that, and they said it's not necessary in Barnegat. I think this is the only town in New Jersey that the police don't do a traffic survey when a new development goes in.
I don't think so.
No? Well, I know when we had any development in a hotel or something like that, the police department had to put a recommendation whether the safety measures are adequate, whether there's enough parking spaces and so forth. Anyway, another concern I want to know
Why,
is...
excuse me, Vince, but why would the police have anything to do with the parking spaces? All of those things that our planning board...
Well, I'll tell you why.
Wait a minute, let me speak first. Our planning board, which I have a lot of faith in, and John has to have they follow, standards that are laid down by the state and things that they have to, abide by. And they know the parking regulations, whether it be a doctor's office, a shopping center, a little retail, they know exactly what it is. The police department is not involved in that whatsoever.
Well, we were always involved.
Well,
And so is the fire department. The fire department was involved also, before the
Fire
plans were
department can
approved.
be involved, this is an issue that the fire department
Okay.
needs to be
Now,
concerned with.
let me go on. We have a sidewalk going from Robin all the way up to West Bay Avenue.
Correct.
So this is where this entrance and exit is gonna be, right? Our senior citizens, the average age are in the 70s, are gonna have to cross that, okay? On the other side of the street, the developer, when he developed Heritage Bay, put a sidewalk only up to our developments, the beginning. About, I guess, 300 feet is unpaved. So why can't the developer or the town, I mean, you did it for the schools, put a sidewalk in from the end of the sidewalk on the south side of Sandpiper Road to West Bay Avenue. You got a sidewalk going across the bridge there, but we have no sidewalk going on. This would
In the area that you're talking
Yeah.
about, where this new development's gonna go in?
This would preclude our residents having to walk on, the north side of the street where they might get hit by a car. Okay, that's one of my main concerns. We weren't against the development because we know the town needs revenue, right? But we were against them coming in and out of our development. We only have one way in and one way out. It's not like several ways in and several ways out at Heritage Bay. One way in, one way out, you know? You're saying no.
I was talking to somebody else. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Didn't know my voice.
This is to Al. Al, you promised us right there several times that we would get the money back that was spent on the Mirage. How are we doing with the lawsuit?
I'll let Dave answer that right now.
As we've stated numerous times, the township is in litigation with both the County of Ocean and Mink. Currently, the township attorney retained is reviewing documents and preparing for the discovery stage.
All right. Did we pay the county yet, the money we owe?
No.
Well, I'm out.
The tax money, we
Yeah.
got
Tax
when they
money.
confirmed our appointment.
Once they confirm
Once
our
they
appointment,
confirm
they got
our-
the...
Do we have to pay interest on it?
Had we not paid,
Do we have to pay interest on
well,
it?
not at this point, no. There wasn't, if we didn't pay it, they were threatening us with interest of $1,000 per
All
day.
right. One other question. How much did we pay this guy last year, Birdsell?
Well, that's a broad-based question, because how much did the town pay him, how much did they earn?
No, the town. How much did he get from the town for the master plan, for everything?
I don't have those numbers in front of me. As the mayor indicated, payment to engineers come from various funds and sources. Some of it current fund, water and sewer, capital, but a fair amount of what Birdsell Engineering earns comes from escrow. In other words, the developers pay for it.
So could you give us a figure on that?
Not tonight, but I can.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay. I would think it'd be cheaper to hire a town engineer. You know, you pay,
Well,
start them
it is-
125
I
grand in
understand
health
where you're coming
benefits, and
from.
you'd be
You know,
better
A lot
off.
of people think that that would be cheaper to hire a township engineer and also hire a township attorney in-house. But you forget about the support staff and the inspectors and all of the other people.
You have them
that
already.
work. Pardon?
Yeah, construction
No,
department.
no. Our inspectors that inspect your plumbing or your electrical or this, that, and the other do not inspect the way a road is put in, the way a sidewalk's put in, the way a building is, you know, there's a lot of things that
I don't know
engineers.
how they do in Barnegat, but in Harrison, they had one town engineer and a construction department. They
I
didn't
said
have
before, this
aides
is
or
not
this or that.
Harris. This is a little
I
bit
know,
different
but,
than
yeah,
Harris.
I think you're giving this guy too much. That's my opinion.
You're entitled to that opinion.
Okay, I have an opinion. And he's got snide remarks too.
That's uncalled for.
Well, no, it's not. He just did it. What was I thinking about? I can't think of it now, but, oh, Dave,
Yes, sir.
why are we bonding for police cars? Why don't we each year buy several police cars?
I fully agree with that. We should have a systematic approach to replacement of vehicles. We haven't purchased any police vehicles for 3 years. Therefore, we have to purchase 6 vehicles.
Yeah, because it's needed.
I agree.
I looked at all the
We don't-
models on the website.
We don't have the extra $200,000 to purchase those 6 vehicles.
You know what, Mayor?
Yeah.
We purchase vehicles every year on lease. And after 3 years, we bought them back for $1. I think that was a pretty good deal. They should look into that. And one other thing about the fire department, they deserve whatever they get because they're volunteers. We had a paid fire department, it cost us over $5 million for salaries.
I'm
So they're
glad you
doing a
said
good
that.
job, and for a truck like that, they need to give it to them.
Thank you, Vince. Jake?
Thanks, Jeff. I guess this, first I'd like to look at a little announcement in the positive. The school, which are some members here, the school had a food drive. It ended about a week and a half ago. And it was like the biggest drive that we ever had in the history of anything over there. It outdid both the post office and the Boy Scouts together. We collected, we had a hard time getting it over to the pantry, over 4,000 cans alone from the school. I sent an email. I'm going to go to the school board meeting and report that, but I think the people of Barnegat should know that, that even though we're jazzing and doing different things, when it come down to paying the piper, they came across. I mean, the girls at the pantry were staggered. I mean, they're still over there putting stuff away.
Yeah.
I mean, when I seen this stuff, I thought the kids robbed their houses. I mean, it was astonishing. And I think, it really goes to show you what type of heart the people in Barnegat have. And when they were called upon, and the people that organized it, we started that at the school. I think Lenny helped me the first year. We had about one pickup full, I think the first year at the school. Lenny was still working at the school. And it built up, and then I guess they got organized over there this year, and it was astronomical. I mean, you know, I even was shocked when I seen that. And then one year I went out with a flatbed trailer to the football game, collecting cans and stuff, but they just outdid it this year. So, you know, it deserves credit for the people in the school and the residents of Barnegat that chipped in and really made it a success. We're in good shape for a few months, I'll tell you that. There won't be no empty baskets, food baskets, come Christmas. Thanks. That's on that. On ordinance 2011-20, I guess it's Pickle on John night. Ain't there $86,000 in engineering on that street that we're paying, not the state? You forgot to mention that?
Bowline?
Photo line.
Yes.
Well, you know, when you get up and say it ain't costing the town, which you just said now, they all heard you, it ain't costing us nothing, you forgot to mention 86,000.
That's not what he said.
I said the township received a DOT grant, the amount of $250,000, and the amount of paving that we paid to Earl was $226,000.
You also said that this ordinance, unlike the other ordinance, this one ain't costing us nothing, but it is costing us. It's costing us $80-some thousand in engineering. I mean, and probably more than that. But there isn't, that's for the street, for the contractor. You know, I opened the ordinance, I know what the ordinance says, and how much engineering from the planning and stuff. I think it's $86,000. That come out of Jake's pocket. Not from the state, but that state money come out of my other pocket. So, you know, if you're going to get up there and read the ordinance off and pat yourself on the back, give us the true figures. Another thing, on the bonding, I know we're going to have a special meeting on that, but this, at a zoning board meeting, I think it was in May, when this ordinance went through, or the agreement went through on the affordable housing, it was reported at that meeting that the fire companies were contacted and about the 3-story buildings there, and if they had the necessary equipment and everything to handle these 96 apartments. And it was reported at the zoning board meeting that they did. Then somebody on the zoning board meeting requested it in writing at the zoning board meeting, and they said it would be forthcoming. Well, I went to the building office, zoning office, planning board office. There is no such letter on file. But there was a letter sent to the fire companies. I'm not an expert on fire truck. If they need the fire truck, that's what I think we should bond for. The rest of that stuff in there should be coming out of the budget. It seems like when these bonds come through, and I've been involved in a lot of bonds around here, that everything gets thrown in to make it look good. I'm not against no fire truck if the fire company needs it. But then you throw it in your dump trucks, your stuff. You're throwing in stuff that should come out of the budget, the township yearly budget, our tax dollars. If you can't run this place on the taxes you collect, which is the highest, second highest in Ocean County. So you're bonding, so you throw the fire truck in, oh, it's a safety issue, we need the fire truck. All right, I agree with that. But these pickups and all this stuff that you added in, I haven't seen the thing. I'm going to go, I'll get a copy of it, so I have it. At the next meeting, I'll have the documents and the stuff that you're buying that should be coming out of the general fund yearly, not borrowing money to run the daily operation of the township. And that's what you're doing outside of that truck. I want to know, like, being it was reported at that zoning board meeting, does that agreement go out? Like, the zoning board was given false information there, is that correct?
Well, hold on a second. I was at the zoning board meeting.
Yeah, Jerry, you're the one that requested it, or you're the one that said that, I don't want to bring you into it, you know, but as you did, they asked you.
Since I brought myself into it, let me complete one sentence.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Sure. You got the floor.
You're correct that the fire department received copies of the plans before the application was submitted in case they had any questions or comments or wanted to make any recommendations or whatever. That occurred. A condition of the approval is that the fire company give a pay, or say it's okay with this building. So the fire company has to review it and has to affirmatively say
that they have no objections to it, so to speak. So that's in there. Exactly what was said at the meeting
Yeah.
is the case.
Yeah,
Notwithstanding what you just said 5 minutes ago. Notwithstanding, exactly what I just said occurred. The zoning board was advised that the fire company had a copy of the plans before the hearing in case they had any issues, which I think is standard for any site plan.
they were sent a letter, I checked that.
A condition of the approval is that the applicant has to get a favorable response from the fire company.